Okay, guys, good afternoon, and welcome if you're joining me right here this afternoon. This afternoon, I'll be discussing the highest paying job in agriculture. Good afternoon, and welcome if you're joining me right here. Like I said, I'll be discussing the highest paying job in agriculture. There's something, okay, some few days ago, a guy sent me a message. Okay, I think it's on my Facebook timeline on Farmvilla. And like usual, you can join me on Farmvilla, you can join me on Yinka Adishola, both are broadcast and live on the two network. So you can join me in Kadeshola, you can join me on Fanvilla. I normally use the two so that in case one network messed up, another one will not messed up. So like I said, this afternoon, because I still need to go to the farm by 4 o'clock, we want to transplant some pepper. So I'll be brief. I'll be discussing the highest paying job in agriculture, and I'm going to be specific in crop production. I'm a JJC kind of in livestock. Yes, I've tried livestock, but I can't call myself. I can't really say I'm very good in livestock because my project failed and I've not yet really learned a lot in it. So in crop production, the highest paying job. Okay, we're going to start. The first one I'm going to start with farm manager. Farm managers are the people that take care of the farm, the operation, day-to-day activities of the farm. It's not that they're the one that do the tilling. Okay, let me differentiate this before I go deep into it. In other climes, in other places, works are differentiated into different work specifics. So I'm going to mention those work specific. For instance, we have an agronomist, we have a farm manager, we have an irrigation manager, we have agribusiness manager, we have agric engineers, we have we have water resources specialists, we have, you see, all these things. We have almost, what I'm saying, we have various job creation, job opportunities in agri sector. But it's just that around here, when you get to our clients here, everything is modeled up. But there's something you can do. These are highly paying jobs. This is what you can do as a youth, as an undergraduate, as a youth, somebody that wants to go into agriculture. You don't need to be a farmer. Actually, farming or grower, farmers are referred to as growers, and are just one tiny sector out of the various opportunities that exist in agriculture. Farmers are growers, and they just a tiny sector of it. So there are other jobs opportunities in agriculture outside farming. We cannot, you see, the challenges we have, why we're having issues in Nigeria, is because all of us are farmers. All of us in the agriculture sector, I mean, majority are farmers and leaving the other sectors, because I think farming is the easiest to get into. But you see, we have water resources engineer. So I'm going to be stating some of them and telling you what they do, so that especially for undergraduates and some of you that still want to learn more, as in some of you that really want to work, you need to get your specialty and you'll be able to work. For instance, let me use irrigation specialist. Do you know most people, when they want to set irrigation on their farm, they look for somebody to, they don't know how to do it. They don't know. See, I always boast of something. I said only some of the guys that have been to my farm can really say, okay, they can lay their drip tapes very well, or their rain gun, or their sprinklers, or because it's a practical work and they learn from the farm. So water irrigation system is a different thing entirely. No plumber. Go and call plumber. They cannot do that for you because they did not know it. So this is a special, what irrigation experts are is a very good sector in agriculture. And even in Nigeria, let me be candid, what people don't understand, if you know how to set up irrigation alone. I remember some of the guys I taught were setting irrigation for people. When people come here and say, come on, please, can you put me how to do irrigation, I will just tell them, look, I can't come to your place to do that, but I can send people to you. People have trained to come and lay the pipes, to come and do that for you, to do the irrigation system for you. And if they are going per acre, they charge you per acre. As in, they're not coming to your farm to play games or anything. You buy all the materials and they come to your farm and just tell you, okay, you are paying 100,000 per acre, or you are paying 200,000 per acre, depending on the locality, on where your farm is. So irrigation setup is a quite different thing. So most people, it's only most people that have gone to the farm where they are doing the practical, and they know if you go for 1 week practical, you cannot learn irrigation setup. It's only people that have attended the class for like 3 months or so that understand, that can even if we don't do it in your presence, you cannot understand it. You just be looking at it, but you won't know how we put it down. So irrigation specialists are demanded. I won't lie to you. People that are going into irrigation, they're always looking for somebody to come and set up their farm. Most times people don't really want to pay for that, so they call and say, hey, can you come and show me, or can you come and do this? Nobody can show them because it's purely practical. In other countries, they earn like, if they are earning monthly, they earn about $7,000 per month. But in Nigeria, you just go there and fix it for them because they cannot keep you because they don't have a large farm. That's one high-paying job you can notice, and it's not farmer. They are not farming, but you need to learn how to lay the drip tapes, sprinkler. You need to learn all the types of steps, how to set them up. The sprinkler, the drip tapes, the pivot irrigation, and everything. They are specialists for it, and they get paid even in Nigeria. Another part that is highly paying is agriculture equipment technicians. You see, there are two things in this one. There's agricultural engineers, and there's agricultural technicians. The engineers are the ones that fabricate the tools, the agricultural tools. They are the engineers, agricultural engineers are the ones that fabricate the tools that we use. But the agricultural technicians repairs it. They're the one that repairs, that are on ground to assist you. But in this case in Nigeria, this is what we have. We don't have agriculture. We have graduates of agricultural engineering, but we don't have practical agricultural engineering people that are really fabricating farm tools. This is one of the greatest challenge we have. We are not, nobody, even simple farm tools like in China now, you find out that these guys are fabricating everything. The planter, the fertilizer applicator, the clinical, they are fabricating. These are agricultural. Imagine the small tools. We don't have somebody, so we don't really have practicing agricultural engineers in Nigeria. But what we now have, we now use for the agricultural technicians. Those are the ones that repair it, that check it for you, that fix it for you when it's having problem, because the engineers specialize on just fabricating, producing it, and they are highly paid. We don't have it in Nigeria. We don't have agricultural engineers in Nigeria. We have agricultural engineering graduates. They are all graduates they went to school, but what they learn in the school is not practical enough to apply to real life issues. So we don't have on the farm. For me, we don't really have, because we don't have anybody fabricating all those things for us. Rather, some of us farmers have turned ourselves to patch and join engineers, because I'll just take something I buy and take it to weather by the roadside. I have a weather in Shaki that I will just give him. He will just say, bring the picture or show me the video, and he will couple it. He might not get it most times. He doesn't get exact thing, but he will get close by and we start managing it. So we don't have we have a cultural graduates. Babeleja, you are welcome. You are welcome to my class again. I just said, let me just bring them up, because it's like we don't really know. Agriculture holds a lot of values, a lot of job opportunity. But I'm talking about crop, and you are fish, but I know there's a lot too. So what I'm saying is, we don't have practicing agricultural engineers in Nigeria. That's why we always depend on China to produce all our planters, to produce all our fertilizer application, to produce transplanters. Minor, simple, small things. Is only all the I learned is even young guys in China that are producing all these things. Okay, so I understand it's only these guys, but we don't have agriculture. We have agriculture engineering graduates, but we don't have the practicing ones. We don't have it in Nigeria. That's why one of the major issues we have in the agri sector. That's why productivity is low. We don't have engineers. Farmers are not engineers. When we write and complain about machinery, they will say farmers should contribute money and fabricate it. I just smile at you, because that is outside farming's job. It's outside. We are growers. So we are supposed to concentrate on growing. Like I told you, most times I take that extra work. But I take it to the weather, the non-literate weather by the roadside. We'll now go and be showing them. I say, okay, do this for me, fabricate this for me. That kind of thing. Whereas they are agri engineers graduates, but they are not they can't practice because they did not know the practical aspect of it. Now, the second, I've mentioned about two high-paying job in agriculture. Imagine if you can start fabricating all the. Okay, about a week ago, I was discussing with somebody about X-Men, how we can reduce the because I said, government is not coming to our aid. Government will not come. As of the present government that I'm looking at, that I'm figuring and seeing that are coming, even whether Obi, whether Tinubu, whether Atiku, they are not coming to anybody's aid when it's come to herdsmen. Forget those history. So I was telling somebody that we need to find a way by ourselves, and these are my suggestions. I said, if we can, for instance, in China, they have, I know cattle. I'm sorry, I always divert in my classes. I use a lot of samples, a lot of examples so that you understand what I'm talking. For talking about cattle, herdsmen issue, this is the suggestion I was suggesting to the person. I said, look, these are the chances. One, and cattle don't like noise. So we need to create something that will be making noise. As in, so that when they just come close to your farm, the noise will just start. Once the scream start like this, they will start going in different direction. They won't, if they come once, twice, later they will start telling them, don't go near that place. There's a noise that, and their cattle will go in different direction. They might lose some. So noise and electric wire, something that when they come, it will shock them and they will go away. And all these things are simple things. Just Google it. I've Googled it online. I've read about it. They are simple machineries that these are work of agriculture engineers. Agricultural engineers are supposed to sit down and say, okay, this is the challenge farmers are facing, or this is the challenge agricultural people are facing. Let's create something to find solution to it. But we don't, like I keep saying, we don't have agricultural engineers in Nigeria. And agricultural engineers graduate. When they just graduate, they will start carrying papers about and looking for a job where there's none. But all these simple machinery, the noise makers, like the birds, I know in Japan, they create a kind of noise. When birds used to eat their rice. Birds come for their rice. So they create a kind of noise. When the birds come closer, the noise will come and the birds will go. Before the birds will come back in the next 5 minutes again, the noise will go off again. So it's like they go, they come, they keep going and coming, but they won't be able to destroy that rice. That should be the works of that's the work of the agricultural engineer. So they should look for solution, like animals to livestock, keeping them in one place. A security, all this, there are little things. I always think about them, and when you go online, you find out they are existing somewhere. It's not a new thing. They are existing because some people have taken it up as their own job and they are clearing. I remember the other time, instead of backing sprayer, I went to my weather and he was able to create something where you don't need to back the sprayer. You just pull. The sprayer is attached to a wheelbarrow. So as you are pushing the wheelbarrow, the way that tire that is rolling will be going up and coming down and be pumping the water. So because why I did that was on the farm, there was a time when I don't have boys. Before I would get somebody to spray for me, it will be wahala. I will beg everybody. With money you want to pay, you won't see anybody to do that for you. So I just thought, I went online. All these things is not new thing. They are existing already. They have it in India, they have it in China, they have it in all these places. Simple agricultural tools. So I went online and I saw it. I took the picture. I went to show the guy. Maybe I'll even show it one of these days. I picked the picture. I went to show the guy, and he designed it and he started fixing it. And he was looking for things. I even told him, he said I should not pay. Let him just look at if you get it. So what I'm saying is, these are the work of agricultural engineers. But now, unfortunately for us, you see our agricultural engineering students roaming about with certificates. They are now bankers, they are now teachers. Some of them are teaching in primary school, collecting 30,000 naira. Some of them are, these are small. Look at, okay, I study agriculture. Now, what are the problems of agriculture? What can I bring out from this problem? There's simple things like the bell that I was talking about cattle. Imagine somebody develops something that can make noise and scare cattle. I already told you what we observe about cattle. They don't like sudden noise. So if somebody can create something like that, maybe I use it on my farm or some other farmers use it on their farm, automatically every farmer will buy. Because there's no one that is not having challenges with cattle. No one. So if everybody it means when they run from my farm, they get to another farm, the noise started again. They will keep running. When they see that every farm and that noise something on their trees, and so you run from here, you get the noise then we solve cattle problem. That's just my hope. So agricultural engineers have work to do. Is a high-paying job if they can get somebody to do it for them. But if people can go into it, the graduates might not have money to start it, but they can do the smaller samples or look for. I don't know. I believe everything. If you put your heart to something, you can do it. So that's another high-paying job. Now another one I'm looking at is water treatment and water engineer is different from water treatment specialist, and I'm going to spread the two now in agriculture. If you're talking of water engineers, are people that are fixing, they are the ones that are operating the machineries, like okay we want water to, like rain harvesting. The way the water will work, the way the water will, like the sprinklers and everything now, there's a way they are functioning. These are water engineers, as in their whole specialist is, okay, we look at the water, the flow of the water, the slope of the water, the everything that has to do with the water engineering, restructuring, relaying the pipes. That is the water engineer work. Water engineer. I'm not sure we have, I don't know if we have something called that in our university system. I don't know. But when we now talk of water specialist, see, let me tell you, every water does not taste the same. Every water is not good for agriculture. There's some water. I'm a farmer, but I have to read all these things because it's affecting my farm. But assuming there's a specialist, I don't need to go leave my crop production and be reading about agriculture scientists. I don't need to go study all these water resources because I'm just a farmer. I'm supposed to be just ordinary grower. Grower means I'm just planting crops. I notice when my crops is growing, I give it water. That's supposed to be my personal work. But because everything is left, everybody is like farming, and but their activities, these things are not government. We can't wait for government to come and do this. Now, the water, something I'm telling you. Now, for instance, there are water that have acid. There's acid. There's water that have too much acid. There's water that have too much sulfur. There's some water you taste them. They are not. You cannot drink them. There's some water So their water, they have their taste, they have their structure, they have everything. So if you use some water for your plant, the plant will die. As in, if you use some water for your crops, the plant will die. So these are water specialist work. They are the one that advise farmers. Okay, this is how to treat your water. This is how to understand. Now they are different from water engineers, and all these are still in agriculture sector. Is still in crop production. We have not even talked about other factors. Crop production, and we have students. I know we have graduates that are moving around doing nothing, that are still looking for a job, and they study agriculture. You understand? Actually, if government were to help, they will change. I was watching a video. I saw somebody did a video. I saw a video about 2-3 days ago. And what the guy was explaining is like, okay, he showed a car, he showed this B2 cars, all these old cars then. He showed those cars. During those periods, and those cars, they were the people, everybody, if you don't have those kind of cars, you are not a big man or what. That's what people were rushing after then now in this present day, he was not asking everybody. We used to go for those type of car, the B2, a Japa, all those cars in those periods. Everybody definitely no, because the things have changed. From there they move to another product. From another product they move to another product. Then how come, has the question, how come our educational sector still remains the way it has been before I was born? You understand? Okay, I'm 46 years old, but when the books I read on agriculture, it's still the same problem. The problem of agriculture that was written 40 years ago is still the same problem of agriculture that we are battling with. So for us to be able, for agricultural sector to work in Nigeria, it doesn't start with it starts with the government partially, but it starts with the education ministers. It starts with having the right people in the right place, which is, I think it's still government anyway, but like I don't like, because if you don't change the system, the training system, we keep passing students through the old system, and then they come out, they are looking for a job, whereas jobs should be created right from the university sector, like the water resources, the agricultural sector. These people should have been getting trained on the line. Okay, you go this way, you go this way, you go this way. One system does not fit all. Okay, I divert. Let me go back. Now, another sectors I saw right here is the ecologists and the environmental scientists. Let me tell you something. This year, I know a lot of farmers this year could not pay their farm workers. You know what I mean? Those farm workers that come yearly. The farm workers are still around, so farmer is still rushing around to harvest cassava, to load pickup so that they will buy Bajaj for the farm. Because if they don't, it means they will never get farm workers again on their farm. Why did that happen? It happens because there's climate. Do you know, if you follow my timeline, I've been writing about climate change since over 10 years ago. I will just write and say climate change. I don't really understand it much then, but I read about, most of the things, let me be candid with you, most of the things you see me talk about or write about, apart from when you see me showing video or sharing, there's some things a lot I practice on my farm. Most of it I read online. So I've been hearing climate because I look at it. If I plant I wonder, okay, in geology class, I used to use it in geology class. In geology class in secondary school, they taught us that March rain will fall. Then the rain will fall till November in some area. In some, everybody they have all those data there. So I now discover when I'm on the farm now, rain will not fall until May. And even if rain fall in May, there's this scattered time that you will not get rain. So I look at it. So why this? That was how I got to climate change. It's not because anybody is saying anything about it. So okay, what is climate change? It took me a long time to really understand it because some English, they will crumble it. And farmers, being the farmers that we are, it takes a lot of time to assimilate for me. So I will sit down, I will look for different articles until I get the one that will explain the one I want for me. So I now realize, okay, the climate change that is happening now is that the system of farming we have been using for the 40 years, 100, 60 years cannot work. Just like the car, all those old cars have been abandoned and everybody is now buying the new vehicle. So we also need to abandon the system of farming and start using a new system. This is where environmental specialists and ecologists come in. Okay, now this is what there's this organization that predicts rainfall every year, and I look at them. They've been there. Some of them are just there. They collect salary and they don't even understand these things because these are where if the specialists in these places and see. This job opportunities I'm bringing out, I went to check what they are paying them outside the country. They earn a lot. They earn a lot. Yes, they work, but they work. It's not that they just collect salary. They work. You find out that these environmentalists, and if you go to our university, I'm sure there are courses. Environmental scientists. There are people that are studying. There are environmental scientists, graduates of environmental scientists that I'm sure some are already in the bank, or some are teachers, or some are somewhere else, and meanwhile some are still carrying their certificates around with no job. Whereas we have where they're supposed to work, nobody is there. The spaces are there, the spaces are there, nobody is taking that opportunity there. So now the environmental scientists will find that they are the ones that are supposed to enlighten farmers. As in, then study and okay, guys, the rain system have changed, and because the rain system have changed, this is what you need to do, this is what you are supposed to do, or this is what you are supposed to whatever. And they're supposed to, that's their own job. They earn a lot. Most of them work, they research. Another part of the high-paying job in agriculture life I'm going to be mentioning is the crop breeders. You see, 2014, I came across East West Seed. East West Seed is a seed production company in I can't remember which country they are, maybe Thailand or so. So they were trying to come into Nigeria to introduce their seed into Nigeria. I can remember as of that time, we were buying seed through Benin Republic, as in Benin already Benin were halfway they sell their seed. So we will now go and buy through Benin and bring it to Nigeria to plant, and it's become more expensive. So they were trying to come into Nigeria, and then they met with, you do know there's the National Clinical Seed Commission in Nigeria. Yes, there is. So they met because I was opportune to be in one of the meetings, National Seed something with East West and everything. They were trying to see how they can come into Nigeria. And then the seed something, rather, I think the conditions they give them were so much, I don't know, I don't understand. But in short, as I'm still speaking now, maybe 12 years after or 13 years after, all the seeds that come into Nigeria are imports. As in, there's no seed breeder in Nigeria. Now, what is seed breeding? But do you know, in our universities, there are students that they are graduates of crop breedings. Why did I say so? About a year ago, now 2 years ago, because we are in New Year now, 2 years ago, there are 2 students on my farm that came to learn, and they were crop breeders. They were graduates of, is it crop breeding or whatever? I don't know. Crops is it breeding? I know it's breeding because I was making jokes with them. I said, look, you guys that are breeding are coming to learn from patch and joint farmers like me. They didn't teach them anything. So you see, crop breeding is a very good job. It's a very high-paying job in other places. Why is high-paying job? Because their work is okay. Now that the climate is changing, and they are the one that produce that seed and say, okay, the corn we were using before is not too good, and now we need to produce the one that will be drought tolerance, or that will be drought resistance. As in, okay, because there's now drought, rainfall is not falling as it used to fall before. So if we have a seed that can withstand that whatever, that is what they are supposed to do. We have graduates, we have universities that are teaching people on crop breeding, but they are not producing, they are not doing this. But this is the high paying jobs in agriculture that we are neglecting. Another thing that we are neglecting, let me give you an instance. There was a time, because like I told you, I'm always looking into things. I read a lot and I do a lot of work. So I was looking and I checked wheat, because you know the way bread, because I was wondering why we're not using, I know ex-president Obasanjo preferred cassava for cassava bread, and I was wondering, because it took me time to say, okay, we are not, I thought, my initial thought before I really get into agriculture was we were using cassava to produce cassava flour and we were having cassava bread. I later got to know it is not so, that it's wheat. With time I wonder, okay, why are we not producing wheat? I got to know, okay, they said our climate is not good for some wheat and everything. But I believe crop breeders can breed something that will suit our climate. Do you know Nigerians and Africans generally are wheat dependent on Russia, whatever. That's why you see the price of bread going up every day. Excuse me, former 18 naira bread is now in my locality is now like 250. So that's why you see, and it will keep going up because we cannot produce it ourselves. And then I learned that the little they are producing in the north, so the little that survive in the north can be taken and breed to get a better result. So crop breeding is a very good job. Honestly, let me give you an instance. This morning, I was chatting with a friend in Ghana about almost a month now. I told him I want to come to Ghana. I've been planning to go to Ghana since the beginning of last year, and I couldn't just get myself out from here. So I was telling him, he said, I'm always saying I'm coming to Ghana. I said, yes, I want to come, but there's something you should get for me, because it's also in the share industry. When I say share butter, share nut industry. That's where we met when I went for the conference. So I told him there's something you should get. And I asked him, the share nut you have in your country, how many years does it? I learned you guys have. I don't know some of these agric terminology, so I'll just use my own little English. And now said, now grafting. And I told him, I thought you guys, he said yes, that they grafted, kind of grafting, I think that's the English, that they've grafted share nut. Our normal share nut will not fruit until 20 years or 30 years. But now in Ghana, they have been able to graft share nut that will fruit in 6 years. So these are crop breeding jobs. These are crop breeding opportunity, but our guys, our students, our youth go to school, they graduated, and with that certificate, and at the end of the day, they can't undo all this. These are high-paying jobs in other countries. I was checking what they were paying monthly and everything. I was wow. You understand? So these are high-paying job. I don't know how we're going to handle this, but dear youth, if you are watching me, if you are joining me, I think there's something you need to find a way to Then there's something I will talk about too. See, if you have a niece, and all these younger ones with you, please encourage them to if they are okay. Like last week, a guy called me and said he's thinking of going to crop something in the university. I don't have the time or the chance. I will have sat them down and break them down for him. You know why? Because if you choose to go for crop breeding in the university, I think we are at that stage now that even if you are going to the university during the holidays, let them go and learn or read more about what they study. And if they see a farmer that is kind of practicing it in a little bit, let them learn something. Because you know what? If one of them can come up, like for instance, a lot of people will call me every day, come and do this for my farm. I'll pay you for this, or I pay for this, or I pay for that. It's because they know I'm researching and I'm doing something. So I'm making my own little money from there. I'm making my own money from there. You understand? So if some of them, instead of going around looking for a job, while they're already in the university, they can develop that interest in that topic they are learning, that course they are learning in school. They should also learn the practical outside, not just waiting for the university, because it's sure that at the end of the school, when they graduate, except they have one big uncle that is a politician, or they are big man's children, there's no job. So even if they go through the 5 years or 6 years or 4 years, because strike is added to it, and they come out, it means there's no job. So that thing they are studying, there's a way we should find a way to make them have interest and look at this little practical outside the school. For instance, during holidays, one will expect that some of them will say, oh, let me come to your farm. I want to come and spend the holiday on your farm and learn. But no, you will not hear that. What they'll tell you is, I'm looking for a job. I want to come and work with you so that you start paying me. I can't pay you because you are not going to contribute anything to my work. I can only pay somebody that, okay, it's beneficial to me, it's bringing something to me. You are not bringing anything to me. Rather, you are coming to learn from me. So what I'm trying to explain is, these are high-paying jobs that you can easily and readily. Okay, somebody said the youth still don't know the power in YouTube to learn as more than the school. Honestly, there's no student. We're in a situation where somewhere right now in Nigeria that you don't have to wait on the school system before you learn anything. Yes, it's mandatory, because there's one challenge I found in Nigeria. When you are looking for what, the first day they will say, bring your certificate. Do you know my farm, if you are coming for the class, or I want to recommend you, I don't recommend your certificate, because to me it's good. Schooling is good. You mix people, you learn a lot of manners, you learn a lot of how to relate in a corporate place. Honestly, I'm not saying schooling is good in Nigeria, but it's not just as effective, and it's not productive. But so when you are going to that school, you still need, the school is for you to get some good background, so that you have, okay, you still meet some people, and it's a kind of foundation. But right where you are studying that, you are learning that, you should also be proud. Okay, what will I do when I leave this school? Because where jobs can be created is when all these high-paying jobs are really functional. Is when these high-paying jobs are functional, that's when jobs can be created. Now we have growers. Do you know farmers are referred to as growers? And farmers' work is not about, I'm not the one, as a grower or farmer, yours is just to plant, study, allow the plant to grow. If the plant is having challenges, you pass it to the next specialist that take care of it. Extension officer, what we call extension officer and support system farmers, we don't have them anymore, and that's why food production is really low. Like I was sharing the story of wheat. I expect by now we should be looking into, okay, how this thing we are importing. Instead of importing, I'm not saying they should continue importing now, but the government or whoever have interest should invest more money in researching how we can grow a breed that will grow in our country. Okay, let me give another example of the breeding. These X-Men cattle, their cattle produce, I work with Friesland Campina and not East West, Friesland Campina and IFDC, dairy something. I did some little project with them some years back. And so with them, you find out that the X-Men cattle, that is the soybeans and farm, only give 1 liter of milk per day. 1 to 3 liters, the highest they will ever produce. For them to give, okay, they only give 1 liter, as in, dairy, those they are cattle that are moving around, that are cows that are disturbing us. They can only give 1 liter of milk. They can always produce 1 liter of milk per day. Now, if there's now a food system that Friesland Campina was teaching farmer then. If you peel corn, that corn cob, that one inside the corn that is useless, that seems useless, there's a way you produce it, convert it, and it becomes dairy cow's feed, and it will increase their milk production. So at some of the farm settlements there, Friesland Campina taught those farmers how to do that. And when they experiment it, because those Fulani will not listen to them, they experiment with it and feed some of their cattle. And the result was that instead of 1 liter, some of the cattle were producing 2 liters. 2-3 liters of the milk. Fine. Now, when they were producing 2-3 liters of the milk, the next thing was like, okay, if the cattle can be, now what they did was to bring semen. They bring semen, that the semen of male cattle. They bring it from their country. They ask for farmers that are interested, so that they will insert the semen in those cows. And the cows, when they are giving birth, they can give birth to, they call it, there's a way they taught of them, quarter. It will be a better breed compared to what the our present cattle are breeding. But the herdsmen, the Fulani, refused. They will not say outrightly no, but when you say, okay, tomorrow we are coming, we want to come and do this, and they've been feeding, they've been taking care of the cattle and pampering the cattle so that they will be fully ready, because there are some structures you need. If the cattle do not have a flat back, the bats, there's something, the hinge leg, you don't have, there's a way it's not all cattle you can do that to. So they've been nurturing them and everything, whatever. So at the day they will now come, they've moved the cattle to another location. What of if it's now male and not a female cow? They said there's something you can use for that again, but they did that one. So what I'm now saying now, it means if the cattle now, the new breed that will now come will be a bit different. We increase the milk production, but the conversion will continue for years, and gradually our network has started. We've been having issues with network. I just pray maybe our network is not really good for the past days. It's just like okay, so it's the conversion. After the conversion, it means eventually they will now be having a better breed, so that from 3 liter per milk every day, from 2 or 1 liter, they can now move to 5, 6, 7, 8, and eventually they might get to 10 liters. There are countries that are producing, that their cattle are producing 40, 50 liters of milk per day. But they don't want, the herdsmen don't want that. To the extent they now have to be looking for our indigenous people, Yoruba, or people around this area that can rear cows or that are rearing cows. They even got to the point they brought in grasses. I still have those sample of those grasses on my farm. I told them I don't want it to die. They give us brassicas, those dairy cattle plant. If you plant for them, then they will come and plow for you. They bring tractor, they plow the place for you, they supply you with the grasses. You'll be the one to plant it, then they will still come and buy it back from you, because they have the intention that they will buy it and then sell it to the farmers that have the cattle that are feeding on it, so that it will everything. All they are trying to do is to increase milk production, but unfortunately it did not work. Why it did not work was that it's only herdsmen, it's only Fulani people that have plenty of the cattle. So our other people they are used to moving and roaming about or whatever, so they refuse those injections. They refuse, even they won't feed the food they were giving them and something of that nature. So it did not work. So we are still at our low level of milk. And do you know, daily Friesland Campina imports, I think, 150,000 or 1 million liters of milk into Nigeria. Oh no, they import in Nigeria. They say we use about 1.5 is a million liters of milk, and all these are imports. What we produce is not up to 5 or 10% of what we consume, of what we use in Nigeria. So I just use that as examples again. It means all those jobs are lost. Do you know how many jobs will have been created in that aspect? So, and this is agriculture. Though, sorry, I divert to dairy in those cases. I'm just using all these things to show you examples of things that are happening. So we have a lot of jobs around here, and like youth, like me personally, assuming I'm still I'm not already working like that dairy one, I wouldn't mind getting one cattle and be rearing, and then allow them to convert it for me, and just experiment. But the issue is, we want to most of the youth nowadays, like what somebody said, they don't want to be mentor. They don't want to be I don't want to use that word mentor, because you see, every day in my box you say, I love what you are doing, I want you to mentor me, and I keep looking at what is mentoring. You're already following what I'm doing, and the next thing I expect you to do. Sorry, on Farm Villa my video ended. Sorry, I will have to put in another. Just give me some few minutes to get back online there. So I keep wondering, mentorship is, you are already following somebody, you are watching, you are following somebody, you're already seeing what the person is doing. So the next thing for you is to try to see what you can copy there, or what more you can learn. Not writing, please mentor me. Sorry. Sorry, 2 minutes. So okay, so that's what happened. So there's a lot of things like that. Sorry, 2 minutes. Ah, hello? Okay. Okay, so that is how that happens. So there's a lot of job in agriculture, like I said. There's a lot of job in agriculture. It's just that we need people, we need them to understand that we need jobs and we need to get this job right. So if you have needs, you have younger ones, please let them understand, let them know